Hello everyone, in this video I'll be going through a demo of shell commands on my Windows laptop. Let me show you how to launch PowerShell. Go ahead and type in the Windows search bar PowerShell and you should be able to launch the application by clicking on it. If you want to change the font size inside the PowerShell window, right click on the tiny blue icon and click on Properties. When you navigate to font, you should be able to change the font size. Let me show you how you can follow along with lecture demos. Just for an example, I have opened my Python 3 installation video on my Chrome browser. Make sure that your browser is not maximized and go ahead and resize your browser window in such a way that your browser occupies the first half of your screen. I'm going to resize and move my PowerShell window to occupy the second half of my screen. Then I should be able to follow along with the lecture demo. Just for an example, I can type in the get-command space Python command. My apologies for the really small font size in this video. Let me go ahead and maximize my PowerShell window and we can get started with the shell commands demo. The very first shell command that I want to show you is the clear command, which clears the screen's content. I'm typing in clear and I'm pressing enter. Let's talk about the prompt here. The prompt displays the absolute path name to the current working directory. What are other ways for you to find the absolute path name of the current working directory? You can try the pwd command, which is the short form for print working directory. For the current setting of the prompt, the pwd command is kind of redundant, but you should be able to reconfigure your prompt to display some other relevant information. Let me show you an alias for the pwd command. The alias command is get-location, which will produce the same output. What if you don't know how to execute a specific shell command? How can you find documentation for it? There are a couple of ways for you to find the documentation on Windows platform. I missed mentioning something about the get-location command. That command is specific only to Windows platform. Going back to my thought process about how to find documentation for a particular shell command, there are a couple of ways to do that. The first way is to use the man command, which is the short form for manual, and then you can type in the shell command name. For example, you can say man space pwd, and that's going to get you the documentation for the pwd command. Once again, get-location is an alias for pwd command. The second way for you to access the documentation about a specific shell command is specific to Windows. You can type in the get-help command along with the command name for which you want to find the documentation. Let me go ahead and clear my screen here. I'm going to go through a few set of keyboard shortcuts which will come in handy in order to avoid excessive typing. Let's say that I'm trying to change my current working directory to a specific location. Recall that the cd command enables you to do that. So I'm going to start typing in c:users. Instead of typing in the whole directory name, I could just use tab, which will autocomplete the rest of the directory name, provided there is only one such directory which starts with an U and a S. If there are multiple such options, you'll get a list of choices when you press tab. Let me go ahead and press enter. That will take us inside the c:users directory. Another shortcut which I want to show you is, let's say that you're typing a really long command and you have a typo at the beginning of the command. Let's say that I've typed in something like this. How can I avoid and pressing enter, and how can I kill this particular command? I can use Control C on my keyboard, that is the kill signal. The next shortcut that I want to show you is the up arrow. Let's say that I want to be able to execute one of the commands which I just went through in the past. Let me first go ahead and change the current working directory to C drive users Meena, and I'm going to use the up arrow key on my keyboard to find the previous cd command which enables me to change into C drive users directory. I'm going to go ahead and press enter. Let me introduce to you the tilde symbol, which is a specific special case symbol. I'm going to show you how to use tilde along with cd. So I can type in cd, and if I press tilde now, that's going to take me to my current user's home directory. My username is Meena, so the home directory for that is C drive users / Meena. That's going to take me back inside my home directory. Let me go ahead and switch to my desktop directory. And what I want to do is, I want to be able to cd into examples directory inside my desktop. Notice that we are getting an error stating that that particular path cannot be found because it does not exist. That error is showing up because the examples directory doesn't exist inside the desktop directory. How can we create a brand new directory? We can use the mkdir command, which is the shortcut for make directory. And I'm going to type in mkdir examples. So I'm going to use the up arrow to run my cd examples command again. And this time my change directory will work. Let me go ahead and show you the output of the ls command. Recall that ls is listing command. It will list all the files and directories in the current working directory. Since we just now created a brand new directory called examples, there shouldn't be anything inside that directory. Let me go ahead and switch to my user directory by running the cd tilde command. I'm going to try the cd examples command one more time. I already have an examples directory inside my user home directory, which is C drive / users / Meena. You'll be able to create multiple directories with the same name in various locations inside your laptop. Let's go through a few set of examples to understand relative path. So I'm going to use cd tilde, and then I'm going to say /desktop and then examples. Notice that I'm using a relative, this time absolute path to this entire directory because tilde refers to the absolute path of the user home directory. Let's try out the pwd command. Right now we are inside the desktop directory, examples directory. What if I want to change to the C drive / users / Meena / examples? I need to first of all be able to get out of the current examples directory. So I'm going to have to say cd ... Recall that ... is a special case which enables you to get out of the current working directory and go into your parent. So I'll be inside desktop after this, but I want to go one level up. So I'm going to say ... to get out of desktop, and then I'm going to say examples. And now if I run the pwd command, notice that we are inside the C drive / users / Meena examples directory. Let me go ahead and show you a couple of other relative paths for this examples directory. I'm going to go into my user directory by saying cd tilde. So if we want to go back to the examples directory, I can simply say cd examples. So there are a couple of possible relative paths that we have gone through for the examples directory inside the user directory here. Let's move on to going through echo command. I'm going to clear my screen. Recall that echo command echoes whatever you type in as argument onto the screen. So if I type in echo space hello, that's going to display hello onto my screen. Let's try redirect command. So recall that you can use the greater than symbol for redirect, and you can say the file name after that. I'm going to try to write the text hello inside file.txt. Let's use the cat command, which enables us to display the content of a file. So I'm going to display file.txt, which contains the text hello here. What would happen if I were to type in echo world and then redirect it to file.txt again? Let's take a look inside the file.txt. Notice that the previous content of file.txt got overwritten. So you need to be really careful while using the redirect command. How can you avoid overwriting the previous content? Let me go back to writing echo hello and redirecting that into file.txt. Let me display file.txt. Instead of saying echo world redirect file.txt, I can say echo world append file.txt by using double greater than symbol. And right now if I use the cat command to display file.txt, notice that there are two hellos in there. Let me add in a world so that it's less confusing. So I'm going to run the echo command again. And now if I display file.txt, you'll see hello, hello world. The next set of commands which I want to go through is working with the files and directories. Let me show you a couple of useful set of commands. Let's say that I want to navigate from this current working directory into the desktop examples directory, but then I want to be able to have a way to quickly come back to the current working directory. Then you can use the pushd command, which is push current directory, and then to that command you need to pass the current working directory as an argument. Recall that you can use dot, which is a special symbol to represent the current working directory. So I'm going to push the current working directory into my stack, and I'm going to navigate to cd tilde desktop and then examples directory. Let me do a pwd. What if I want to go back to the directory which I just pushed inside my stack? I can do that by running the popd command, which will take me right back to the working directory which I pushed into my stack. Very useful set of commands. I use these two commands extensively. Let me show you how you can copy one file into another file. So I'm going to use the cp command, which is the short form for copy. The syntax for cp is cp space source file space destination file. Let me name my destination file as file-copy.txt. Now if I do file-copy.txt by using the cat command, I should be able to see the same content. So how can you rename one file into another? You can use the move command. So let me rename file-copy.txt into file-v2.txt. Actually, let me go ahead and kill the current command. Let me first show you the ls commands output. Notice that right now we are able to see the two files that are created inside the examples directory. I'm going to go ahead and run my move command now. So I'm going to say move file-copy.txt to file-v2.txt. Let me do an ls command execution again. Notice that file-copy.txt doesn't exist anymore, and you now have file-v2.txt, and I should be able to cat the contents of file-v2.txt. That will be it for today's lecture.